Hi everyone, welcome to the Tippinggods channel. Today is Tuesday the 6th of April and we're going to have a look at our feature golf tip for this week. That tip, of course, as always, on our social media platforms, and the links of which are below in the description of this video. Of course, it's not any week on the golf tournament schedule, it's Masters Week. It's the perhaps the most looked forward week in the whole calendar of professional golf. Played a course at the incomparable Augusta National golf course, a golf course that this year will be played, or a tournament, sorry, this year will be played in its more traditional April time slot. Of course, last year with Dustin's fantastic win played in November in the fall. So, back to something more traditional that we recognise, and it's great to see that the PGA has allowed smaller crowds in this year. It's going to add some real atmosphere that, because of the lack of the crowds last year, perhaps was missing. But again, that certainly doesn't demise and take away from Dustin's fantastic victory last year, and a tournament that's really going to go a long way to define his career. So let's start with what we know. As I said, April starting date, so we're going to get some spring weather. It looks like it's around mid-20s, a little bit of wind around, probably 5, no more than 10 kilometers an hour. Always a chance of a thunderstorm, of course, in the south of the US around this time, but not a great deal of rain forecast. So conditions are looking pretty good. The course is going to be ridiculously perfect. It's just never a blade of grass out of place. So there's not going to be really many excuses for good scoring this year. 7,400 yards, nearly 7,500 yards, of course, around the 72. Not a great deal of significant changes this year in the course, except there may be an extension to the 13th with the tee being pushed back a little. In saying that, though, I don't think that's going to affect the hole too much. They're still going to try and bomb it, hook it around the corner, of course, onto the flag, and have that reasonably mid to 7-iron, 4-iron to 7-iron into 13. So that's really the only significant change that we're hearing so far from the clubhouse and from the tournament committee. So, as I say, perfect conditions really forecast. Course is going to be immaculate as always, and as you would expect, the fullest field of the year so far. So, who do we like? Well, clearly if we work through some of the favourites for us, DJ is going to be tough to beat if he brings the game he brought last year to this tournament. A lot more responsibilities this year, of course, being the defending champion. His game is still elite, of course, world number one, but just tapered off a little bit in the last month. He's going to be refreshed, and I think he's clearly difficult to beat, but it'll be interesting to see what sort of game he brings. DeChambeau, I see, is one of the favourites with the bookmakers. Not convinced with Bryson DeChambeau around Augusta. Clearly a fantastic player, major winner, but I don't think the length, especially the length that he's got right now, is really that big a key. I think more around Augusta is control, because it's not where you hit it around Augusta, it's where you don't hit it, and especially on those greens. So it will be interesting to see where or how he performs this week, whether he's taken some of the learnings from his past visits to the Augusta National. Outside that, Justin Thomas, of course, fantastic win the Players' Championship. I think he's a worthy, one of the worthy favourites this week, going to bring a lot of form and momentum. Jordan Spieth, of course, fantastic golf over the last 6 weeks, probably the hottest player on the planet over the last 6 weeks. Deserved win last week in Texas, and congratulations to him. It's great to see him back, and again, really interesting to see what sort of form he brings around Augusta now. He's had that win, and past champion, of course, so he clearly, when in form, has an opportunity, and a real opportunity to win the tournament as well. A lot of the young guns, Schauffele, Patrick Cantlay, Morikawa, a lot of the Korean boys, Im, etc., even Cameron Smith. These guys can win this tournament. I'm not sure it's just this year though. It's going to take a lot of experience and a lot of heartache to try and to get to that point. Apart from Fuzzy Zeller and Horton Smith, you don't win certainly in your first attempt here, and traditionally you're not looking at victory until about 10th to 12th time around this tournament. So experience is key. I think they'll play well, but not really for me as the winner. So who do we like? Well, Tippinggods crew, we're going to take a chance on Rory McIlroy this week at around 20 to 1, $21, 22 on some of the exchanges, traditionally with the bookmakers around $20. Now we know, if you read some of the media outlets, his mind's gone wandering, his game's gone left, he's lost the plot a little bit, he's changed coaches now to Cowan, and Pete Cowan he's gone to after a number of years with his decades, in fact, with his swing coach in Northern Ireland. But this is what I think. Form is temporary, talent is forever, and this is a player, one of the players of his generation. Sure, he hooked the ball left into someone's pool in the match play and got hammered by Poulter, but I'm happy to forgive that. I'm happy to forgive the miscut at the Players' Championship, because his body of work up to that had been really impressive. His body of work in the Masters, even when you include when he blew that four shot lead and shot 80 in the final round, over a decade ago now, is really impressive. So if we look from 2014, he's had a tied 8th, 4th, tied 10th, 7th, 5th, 21st in 2019, and last year tied 5th after an opening 75. Now, maybe Rory McIlroy is his generation's Greg Norman when it comes to Augusta, and he'll always be somewhat of a Greek tragedy. But to be honest, I'm not convinced. This is a really tough individual. He's had a couple of weeks off. There's no question he would have done the work required to be ready for Augusta. He knows Augusta well. It's going to be his 13th time here, and I think something special is brewing with Rory this year. And around $21, I think that's a price that's reactory price to the last 4 weeks of his professional career. I'm going to look at the last 12 years of his professional career. He's elite. We know that. We know he can score. We know he can lead around this tournament. And, smaller crowds, seeing what DJ did last year, I think he's going to get, a lot of encouragement and a lot of inspiration from those performances. And Rory McIlroy at $20 and above, we see him fantastic each way play here at Tippinggods. $5 to win, $5 to place on the Northern Irishman Rory McIlroy to win the 2021 Masters Tournament. Of course, at Tippinggods, that's not the only free golf tip we have. In fact, it's not the only free tip. And as always, if you want to get all our free tips all of the time, simply log on to tippinggods.com, sign up, and you'll get all our free tips with plenty of time to review, digest, and perhaps even invest if you concur with our thoughts. But no matter who you're investing in on the Masters this week, we do wish you the very best of luck. Please do stay safe and remember to always invest responsibly. Thank you.